Thank you for joining us today, Russell. If we could start by talking a little bit more about your role within Nexstor, and then also a little bit more about Nexstor as a business as well.
Sure, yeah. Russ Sampson, I'm an account director for Nexstor. Nexstor are a value-added reseller. We've got a near 20-year pedigree in specialising in data storage, data protection and data access. Our approach is to consult with our existing customers and prospects to help them design, support, deliver and remediate existing technologies into, wider reaching value within their organisation to help with business and digital transformation, projects, technology adoption and things along those lines.
Is there any particular verticals you guys focus on, or is it kind of a general view with specialisations at all?
So generally we're pretty vertical agnostic. Of late we've been doing quite a bit of work within the manufacturing sector. We've got experience working with public sector as well, but also regulated industries, so finance and bio and situations like that. So we've got quite a broad spectrum of capabilities and experience across the industries.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. As far as the relationship with TD SYNNEX and Nexstor, feels a little embryonic to a degree from a GreenLake, HPE GreenLake, but just give me a feel for our relationship as you view it.
Yeah, so actually whilst the GreenLake piece is new, and it's new to us and the industry as a whole, actually the relationship between TD SYNNEX and Nexstor has been, knocking on the door of a decade maturing. The partnership has been actually fantastic across that decade. Your international reach helps us deal with our international clients. You've got a great gravitational pull in your organisation that brings new and exciting technologies into your, visibility and portfolio, and that's really attractive for us, so we can keep up to date for ourselves, our customers, and ultimately deliver, the right solutions to help set our customers up going forward. So whilst GreenLake is new, actually the partnership between Nexstor and TD SYNNEX has been 10 years maturing.
Established quite well by the sound of things.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the things that we appreciate most is actually the fact that you've got your finger on the pulse of what the industry is up to, and that's again for our educational benefit and the introduction of new technology. So confidence as well in what you guys are up to is great.
And you touched upon obviously GreenLake being relatively new for you as an organisation. And I know obviously the engagement with HPE is expanded and has grown over the last sort of 6-12 months anyway.
Yep.
How has that progressed for you as a business? Because I know you said about the role of the organisation and how you kind of work with your customers, but have you seen that shift from, traditional to the more as a service model where HPE GreenLake fits in?
Yeah, absolutely. A bit like with yourselves, our commercial relationship and our technical support relationship with HPE has been there since 2015 and prior to that. What we have seen, both in terms of what we have historically been doing as a business, but also what our customers are asking of us and what the industry is demanding from us, is an evolution in buying patterns, how people are consuming technology. And actually, if you look at what GreenLake is and what it does, it is the most mature market offering for consumption-based on-prem technology, services, support, and their point next service delivery.
Yeah.
Bar none. It is an on-prem hyperscaler effectively in terms of how you consume it, how you architect it, and then subsequently how you can support it out the back end and integrate it into other departments within.
Do you feel that gives you different reach within your customer base? So does it give you different dialogue, different discussion at different levels within the organisation?
It is. IT has been an industry dominated by speeds and feeds and technology, right? Physical components, how far something goes, how big something is, and quite often it is seen as a cost center within the business. So actually what consumption-driven IT adoption has done is morphed, a technical conversation into a business outcomes and a FinOps conversation. And HPE and GreenLake and TD SYNNEX have been able to help articulate that message nice and clearly and concisely to customers. And quite often what happens when you start talking about consumption, very different to licensing and leasing agreements of old, is the conversational narrative has to be different. You have to involve different stakeholders within the business. So TD SYNNEX and HPE have been able to help educate us on how to have those stakeholder conversations in a slightly different guise to what we were doing previously with more traditional resale and lease type deals.
So the good news is we've had some customer success together. Would you like to share maybe who the end user customer is, the reasons why they invested into HPE GreenLake, and what that delivers from Nexstor as well.
Sure, absolutely. The customer's an organisation called Albumedics. They work within the bioindustry, based actually not too far from our headquarters up in Northampton. And they were working their way through an organisational-wide transformation project, and this spanned both the manufacturing side of the business, but also kind of the digital side of the business as well. And they had quite a set of ambitious targets. They were looking to consolidate their cycle time by 50%. So, as you can imagine, trying to take 50% of time out of anything is not a small task at all. And the IT team were going to be intrinsic to that as one of the most lateral spanning departments within the organisation. Largely, whatever IT touch, there's an impact, and it needed to be a positive impact. So, process flow, connectivity, how the uptime of the IT assets were, and indeed the ongoing support. So the requirement of the business was to make sure that they had a long-term platform to adapt and grow with however the business was looking to go, ideally growth, naturally. So the technology platform had to underpin that, and it had to communicate with existing legacy systems, but also be setting themselves up for the new and evolving world going forward. After some initial consultation with the market, conversations started happening with HPE, and given HPE's long associated relationship with Nexstor and kind of a symbiotic understanding between us all as to what our kind of core competences are and our skills are, Nexstor were brought into the conversation via recommendation from HP. And I think one of the things that Albumedics particularly appreciated was not just Nexstor's one-size-fits-all approach, it was that kind of consultation conversation. What are you looking to achieve? And that is a holistic approach to what the business is looking to achieve, the technical front, the commercial front. And as you can appreciate, with a project as expansive as this, cost consideration is key. So after some further conversations and some kind of innovative solution designs that we put forward that kind of challenged the status quo of what the business were doing at the moment and what they thought they would probably do, had they not consulted with, HP and Nexstor and the GreenLake conversation, we put forward a robust GreenLake proposition. And this covered kind of a core data center in a box style solution, so servers, storage, power delivery, and the associated licenses to go with it. That wrapped into some Nexstor cloud services to help with offsite data backup that helps them meet NCSC guidance for 3210 backups. And we've been able to deliver that exceptionally competently with really robust and referenceable project management out the back of it. Now, for both parties, that was a technical design. It was absolutely contractual conversations and things like that, along with one of the ambitions of not only cutting cycle time down and making the overall manufacturing element of the business quicker and slicker. They wanted to put the IT department to better use. How could they drive forward other projects with IT that would benefit other areas of the business as well? And there was a real keen desire for them to move away from pushing buttons and pulling levers and keeping the traditional kind of data center powered on and patched and things like that. One of the really neat things about GreenLake and the service that Nexstor have been able to wrap around it is we can take off from them that load of day-to-day admin, pass the responsibility and the accountability onto another organisation, free up the IT assets and resource to go out and be proactive for other areas of the business, whilst we and the HPE Point Next and services team look after that core stuff. The neat thing about GreenLake as well is it's you pay as you consume. So no great big CapEx expenditure, no quirky finance agreements that go and are tied to assets. This is a true consumption delivery model. The business pays for what it's consuming in near real time without having to wet their finger and stick it in the air and try and guess what they're going to be using in 3 to 5 years' time. No wastage, pay for what you use when you use it, nice and easy.
But you also have, I guess, the flexibility of paying for what you use today, but there is that option to grow. There is the flexibility of growing up and growing down throughout that term of that contract. So not only do they have, like you've mentioned, the manageability and prioritising more maybe of their own staff, looking at other projects, but you've given the, I guess, that visibility moving forward of cost and how much that's going to affect them if they do need to grow. Or
absolutely. So naturally, cloud is a consideration for anybody. And given Albumedics' position within the bio industry, they have to adhere to certain rules, regulations and guidance, and things like that, MHRA, the FDA and things like that. And there's not an aversion to cloud, but there's certain best practice guidelines that everyone's encouraged to adhere to for sensible reasons. So The elasticity of cloud resource consumption is absolutely of interest. The practicalities of putting it in the cloud, potentially not right at the moment for our biomedics, but the cost elasticity as well is absolutely key. Flex up, flex down as resource consumption and needs demand. And GreenLake is able to deliver on all of those fronts. Because of the rich ecosystem of software that you can also harness within GreenLake, adoption of public cloud services, when they become more of a viable consideration, are entirely possible within that as well, should they do so wish.
A true hybrid cloud model,
True
one,
hybrid.
but the best of both worlds. You've not just got on-prem, you just not got public cloud. You have that true hybrid offering, and again with the platforms involved within HPE GreenLake, you have that visibility and you see that cost comparison as well. So it's a true hybrid model, which I think we're seeing more and more within our customer base and our partners' customer base. Is what the ultimate goal is having the visibility and the choice.
Choice, but you don't want to be overwhelmed with choice.
No.
You know, right? It's making sure you can use IT sensibly. Technology should underpin what the business is doing. It should support what the business is doing. It shouldn't hinder. And one of the key things for a business, particularly like Biomedics, where they are effectively involved in manufacturing at its crudest terms, is making sure everything relates to improvement and efficiency and things like that. And technology can underpin that, and it can really enhance what they're doing. It can really help cut down on those cycle times and deliver actual measurable value out the back end.
Well, look, from my point of view, really compelling story. Customer really gets some real value in not just on the solution, but the outcome of what they get from Nexstor. Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to our partnership moving forward.
Thanks both. Much
Thanks
appreciated.
very much.